For those of you who haven't heard of Grant Cardone, he's a salesman, a businessman, an entrepreneur, and the author of multiple business books, and one of those being the 10x Rule. What has that got to do with acting, filmmaking, or being an artist? Listen in to find out, because each and every one of us, whether we're an actor, director, writer, or producer, can learn from what's written in his 10x Rule book. Even if we were to take just one piece of advice and implement it, it would be well worth it. His 10x Rule shows us how to define our correct goals, accurately estimate the effort needed, discern how to approach our projects with the right frame of mind, and then determine exactly how much action to take. The 10x Rule is really a discipline, not an education, gift, talent, or good fortune. It doesn't require some special personality trait. It works in every area of life, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, familial, and financial. Most successful people will tell us that sufficient levels of motivation, work ethic, and follow-up are clearly in short supply these days. And if we look back on our lives, we'll see that we have wildly underestimated both the actions and reasoning necessary to accomplish any endeavor to the point where it could be labeled successful. The one thing that Grant believes has made the biggest difference in his life was that he always put forth 10 times the amount of activity that others did. For every sales presentation, phone call, or appointments others made, he was making 10 times more. He has approached all his business enterprises with massive action, which has been the single biggest determining factor in any success he has created. For Grant, the notion of creating extraordinary levels of success by definition means anything outside the realm of what normal people can and do achieve. One cannot get to the next phase of a project without a grander mindset, more acceleration, and extra horsepower. Only we can decide what is our true potential and whether we're living up to it. No one else can judge our success. And what is success? It is a degree or measure of attaining some desired object or end, whether it's that role we're after, the project we want to direct, or the film we'd like to produce. And once we attain this desired end, the issue then becomes whether we can maintain, multiply, and repeat our actions in order to sustain that result. People who are highly successful continue to work and produce and create even after they're flourished. They know that their efforts must continue in order for them to realize new achievements. Once the hunt for a desired object or goal is abandoned, the cycle of success comes to an end. Almost every problem people face in their careers and other aspects of their lives, such as failed diets, marriages, and financial problems, are all the result of not taking enough action. So, the focus of the 10x Rule is we must set targets that are 10 times what we think we want, and then do 10 times what we think it will take to accomplish those targets. There's nothing ordinary about the 10x Rule. It's simply what it says on the tin. 10 times the thoughts and 10 times the actions of other people. The 10x Rule is about pure domination mentality. The following are a handful of mistakes people make when setting out to achieve goals. 1. Mistargeting by setting objectives that are too low and don't allow for enough correct motivation. 2. Severely underestimating what will it take in terms of action, resources, money, and energy to accomplish the target. 3. Spending too much time competing and not enough time dominating their sector. And 4. Underestimating the amount of adversity they will need to overcome in order to actually attain their desired goal. Humankind, by and large, tends to set targets at subpar levels, and many people, in fact, have been programmed to set targets that are not even of their own design. We have predetermined notions about what is fair, what is difficult, what is possible, what is ethical, what is good, and so on. Any goal we set is going to be difficult to achieve, and we will inevitably be disappointed at some point along the way. So why not set these goals much higher than we deem worthy from the beginning? If they are going to require work, effort, energy, and persistence, then why not exert 10 times as much of each? What if we are underestimating our capabilities? When we put in the necessary effort, persistence and energy towards our goals, the marketplace will sense by our actions that we are a force to be reckoned with and are not going away, and it will begin to respond accordingly. Mankind seems to have this built-in automatic calculator whose only purpose is to explain away failure, and this calculator tends to be more emotional than logical. We cannot afford to play the victim. Anytime we play that card to be right, we are taking on the identity of a victim. Once we start to approach every situation as someone who is acting, not being acted upon, we will start to have more control over our life. We are the source, the generator, the origin and the reason for everything, both positive and negative, that happens in our life. Nothing happens to us, it happens because of us. We are both the problem and the solution. We always have a choice in how to respond to things. We have to assume that every acting role, film project, writing deal we attempt to close will take more time, money, energy, effort, and people than we can imagine. We must multiply every expectation we have by 10, and if it doesn't take 10 times more than anticipated, great. It is better to be pleasantly surprised than greatly disappointed. Grant isn't telling us to be pessimistic, just to be prepared and to tackle our artistic endeavors with a 10x rule as if our life depended on it, to manage every action as though we have a camera on us every step of the way, pretending we're being recorded as a model by which our children and grandchildren will learn how to succeed in life one day. Always remember to follow through completely. That is the great common denominator of all winners. They see every action through to completion, making no excuses and adopting the take no prisoners attitude. Success doesn't merely happen, it is a result of relentless proper action taken over time. And success is needed in order to perpetuate people, places and things, and it is followed by taking necessary actions over time until it is acquired. We have to start approaching success as a duty, obligation and our responsibility. If we quit caring, then we quit winning. Quit winning long enough and we will just plain quit. Will our kids benefit when they'll see us losing or quitting? Does anyone benefit when we can't get our film sold, that book published, the acting role nailed, or that great idea that will improve society? No one will benefit from our failures. We simply cannot train or prepare for normal amounts of gravity or resistance, competition and market conditions. We can't think average, we have to think massive. We must prepare for massive persistent action, 10 times action, so we can win. Newton talked about the law of inertia. An object in motion continues in motion, so we keep taking action until we can't stop our forward momentum. The other interesting fact is that the more we commit to new actions, the more creative we'll become. It is as though our imagination opens up and new possibilities just pour in. We must go all the way and then keep going until our fire burns so hot that people stand in admiration of our ability to take action. We'll be amazed by how much we can get done when we quit thinking, calculating and procrastinating and just get on with it and make a habit of acting now. Now means now. We start with the first things first, making our initial list of goals and a list of actions that will propel us in that direction. Then without overthinking it, start taking those actions. Here are a few things to bear in mind. 1. Let's not reduce our goals as we write them. 2. Let's not get lost in the details of how to accomplish them at this point. 3. Let's ask ourselves what actions can we take today to move us towards these goals. 4. Let's take whatever action we come up with regardless of what they are or how we feel. 5. Let's not prematurely value the outcome of our actions. And 6. Let's go back each day and review the goals. Remember, successful people commit first and figure the rest out later. So let's constantly be prepared for success so that we can grab the opportunity when it comes along. Success is not a choice or an option. It's our duty to operate at the right level of thoughts and actions. Let's follow through on our responsibility as artists to leave a footprint on this planet, so then when we are done with our tour of duty, we will be remembered for approaching life with nothing less than the biggest of dreams and the most remarkable action.